Hey guys, Island Homesteader here. Post Hurricane Arthur garden update. And surprisingly enough, if you're as surprised as I am standing up here looking down, I just got home this morning. This is Saturday the 5th. It's, I don't know, 8 o'clock in the morning. Maybe not quite that late. It's the first time I've been home in about 36 hours. So this is my first look at the garden, and if you're as surprised as I am that there's that much green still down there, then welcome to the club. I expected to come home and not see anything left. I expected all those tomatoes down there to be just completely stripped bare stems at the best, and I expected all of this to flood, but we never had any flooding, which I'm still not sure why, but I'm not going to complain. The hurricane passed to the west of us. It came up the sound to the west of us, which has always been the absolute worst track for us for flooding, because it always pushes all of that sound water to us. But it didn't. The wind direction stayed in such a way that it didn't flood the southern part of Hatteras Island at all. Avon had a couple of feet, which isn't bad, because that's really only a few inches in most places up above what sea level is. The three villages on the very north end of Hatteras Island, Rodantia, Waves, and Salvo, they did get pretty hard, and there's been some significant flooding up there. Some people up there are really hurt, and they really lost a lot up there. So overall, for the whole island, minimal damage for the whole island, but the northern part of the island did get pretty hard, and there's some pretty significant stuff up there. So if you see on the television it says Hatteras only sustained minimal damage, just remember that Rodantia, Waves, and Salvo got hit pretty hard, and if you'll remember those guys in your prayers, I'd appreciate that. But overall, here we got lucky, never had any flooding. It never came in the yard. My wife said that what she could see yesterday morning as soon as the sun came up was that the canal wasn't even over the bulkhead across the street or across the canal, and that floods on just a winter storm. So that's pretty impressive. I'm going to walk downstairs now for the first time. I mean, from up here, the tomatoes look good. Watermelon box looks good. The corn is there. It's leaning a little bit. Purple hull peas look like they're not so bad. Lima beans look a little beat up. Cucumbers look like they're shot probably. The pole beans look like they're shot. And the squash and zucchini looks like it's probably gone. But it's still green, and that's squash down there is blooming up a storm. So, and the potatoes and the peppers were in the garage, so we'll go down and get those things out this morning. And let's just go down there and take a real quick look. Well, the little fig tree did good. It's even still got some little figs on it that I didn't even realize it had set. So tree held up great. This is pretty much all I'm looking at cleanup wise. There's branches, leaves down. That right there is really the biggest branch that I've got down in my yard. I've seen some other people in the neighborhood with some pretty big branches down, but that's all I'm looking at there. There's branches everywhere, leaves everywhere, but we can pick that up. That's not a problem. So that branch looks like we just lost leaves. I wasn't able to see through these branches that much, but so we can live with that. Alright, let's get over here to the garden. These tomatoes, I want to tell you, I'm flat amazed. I don't know if that rope that I put on extra made the difference, but these tomatoes they're not even hardly beat up. They're not near as beat up as the ones that I had upstairs on the deck. These have got most all of their leaves, just a little bit of leaf dying off. Did break the tip off of that one, so I'm gonna have to let something sucker grow up as a new tip. Looks like the tip broke off on that one too, and that one. So, but there'll be a sucker come out, I'm sure. Watermelon looks pretty good. Just looks beat up. But other than that, there's my biggest sugar baby. It's still attached. Got a good healthy green stem. Leaves still look good. Zucchini. If you remember, the zucchini has squash vine borer in it anyway, and the stems were pretty rotten. But who knows? Pole bean. Those pole beans are gone. Cucumbers, I don't know. They're not all snapped anyway. The leaves have been stripped off. Maybe it'll get some new leaves on them. That one too. I'm probably going to just go ahead and start some cucumber seeds and at least plant them where those pole beans are. We should have enough warm weather still to be able to get some cucumbers. So I'll just replant them. Lima beans, you know what? They're not ripped out of the ground. They're just pushed around. Still have blooms on them. They might rebound from that. Look, here's part of the squash plant over here. Okra. Looks like it stood through it. That okra over there. Purple hull peas. You can tell where the wind came from. It blew that way across this bed pretty hard. They're leaned over. Have some leaves stripped off of them. They were about done anyway, I think. So it's not a terrible loss, even if I lost them. But I think they're going to be okay. Corn. Not bad, just leaning. Nothing really broke or snapped or anything. All the leaves stripped off that. That was yellow squash. This yellow squash. That's too bad because that was a nice plant. And it's blooming better this morning than I've seen it blooming all along. But you know what? These things are pretty tough plants, so it may come back. That zucchini there, that was probably the worst anyway with squash vine borer, so it shot. But like I said, overall, there's a few tomatoes just loose, scattered around. But I'm amazed that these plants look as good as they do to have gone through a hurricane. So, yeah, I'm amazed. Okay, here's the last look at the plants that were brought inside. And some of these plants look better than they did before I carried them in. I'm amazed. Maybe, I don't know, a few days of shade or something did them good, but everything in here made it through okay. Might even be a potato reveal later if I get around to dumping that potato there out. I think that's the Charlotte, and these Yukon Golds are getting pretty close to being done too. But anyway, everything I carried in looked good, so I'll get these back out and just generally get the garden cleaned up a little and get the yard cleaned up, and that's going to be it for me. Put some of this stuff back outside, trash cans and stuff that we brought in, but that's going to be about it. So that is post Hurricane Arthur. A lot better than I thought it was going to be. It was still a serious storm. It could have been a lot worse, and I hope people don't take that for granted that we were hit with a Category 2 storm and didn't really sustain a lot of damage. We got very lucky on this storm. It could have been a lot worse. I fully expected this to flood. I fully expected water to be in the garage. I stood out here in 1993 during Hurricane Emily in this garage, and water was up to my waist. We were out here trying to get things higher. Had upright freezers floating. We were trying to balance and all kinds of stuff. So we've definitely seen a lot worse. and it could have been a lot worse. But like I said, we got lucky. We were certainly spared on this one. I think pretty much everybody was. This was a pretty minor storm compared to what it could have been. So thanks for all your concerns, your prayers, your thoughts during this storm for us. We dodged one for sure, but we may not be that lucky next time. But we were this time, and I'll take it. So the garden looks great. I'm happy. Did lose a few things, but in the long run, everybody here, family's safe. Everybody's healthy. I didn't hear of any serious injuries on the entire island during the storm. We never had to respond out to anybody. So I think we did all right. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I may just shoot a quick one, a little update to this or something when I get the garden put back together, and just show you. All right. Thanks again for watching, and thanks again for all your thoughts and prayers. All right, guys. God bless.